Morning, campers. Welcome back to Train Simulator 2015. We're at the head end of a unit grain train today in a scenario called The Slide. It is one of Elphaba's scenarios, one of those first ones. And this is on the Horseshoe Curve route. We're in an SD70. And this is a lovely locomotive. I haven't really had a chance to play with this one outside of the Norfolk Southern Coal District, which I downloaded it for that, since it had the Monongahela paint scheme is one of the included ones here. But we are going to take on this. Let's make sure we are on track first. Yes, we are. Okay. So we will be heading down a steep gradient in this map called The Slide. Well, this route, I mean. We've got a helper locomotive here at the back. It's going to be helping us slow down. I don't think we're going to need the throttle too much, because this is almost entirely downhill, from what I've been able to tell. But definitely needed to get going here. We'll see how long that's necessary. Yeah, still need it. Okay. I do have the headlight on, but it doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. Gotta love tunnels. I'm really impressed at how well it's running today. This is, even despite my recording, it's still a nice steady 30 frames per second. Gonna go ahead and get the dynamic brake going. Looks like it might be a little bit overkill for now, but I'd rather not risk just coasting out of control down this hill. And the green signal. No idea where that other track goes. I've never had reason to go down that way. I need to play more of this route. This is a really gorgeous route, and I was never able to really play it much when it came out. I think it might be running really well because of the fog. That helps, probably. And it looks really cool, because this is something that happens a lot in this part of Pennsylvania. You get these socked-in days like this where you can't see much of anything. Just coasting again. This is the Horseshoe Curve route. I'm not sure if this scenario will actually take us through the Horseshoe Curve. Probably will. That's most of the reasons to play this map, is to go through that. But this was the first track released for Train Simulator that had super elevated curves and the new lighting engine. So it's you can notice the train kind of leans into the corners a bit. I'll show it off when we get to one of the better ones. This particular route has really significant tilt on some of these. So it looks really cool, especially if you need another train going around the opposite direction on a curve. Some lovely scenery, highway running alongside the tracks. Another signal bridge coming up. This track is a very good way to learn the signals if you are planning to take a lot of time on the Northeast Corridor routes. They use the same signaling style, except they're built into the cab. So in this route, you just kind of have to observe the ones above the track. So the three yellow lights in a straight vertical line are a green aspect, and that's, you can just proceed with that. The three yellow lights in a diagonal line are the caution aspect. That's, I think, track speed of something like 25 or 15 miles per hour. I forget the exact number that they want you to use. The Northeast Corridor route at least tells you inside the cab which speed to use. And then the three yellow lights in a horizontal line are a stop signal. I usually just wind up saying green, yellow, and red, so you can definitely see the train tilting now as we go around this curve. Fairly accurate from what I understand. This windy old Pennsylvania route they really had to tilt the tracks to keep the trains able to run through here at 30 miles an hour without putting too much stress on the cargo. Putting putting the slight bank on the turns helps negate some of the G-forces that the train goes through, and keeps it from rolling over, which is apparently a thing that happens. Still keeping this under control with occasional use of my dynamic brake. Sound effect seems to be a little bit glitchy, I've noticed so far, but nothing too major. Go into another curve. You can see the whole cab is starting to tilt a tiny bit to the left. It's not quite as noticeable from inside, but as you see trains oncoming, you'll notice it a lot better. Or if I jumped out to the when I jumped out to the third person on the previous curve, it's just cool. So this scenario is available on the Steam Workshop. It is free. It is one of Elphaba's scenarios. If you're subscribed to him, it's scenario number 9. There will be a link in the description below. Let's check the signal aspect here. And green. Lovely. This is one of his earlier scenarios, but it is a pretty good one from what I've heard. I haven't had a chance to play it before this. So far, so good. Don't get too many challenging braking scenarios in this game. It's usually uphill fights you have to do. This is a definite change of pace. It's only estimated to be about 25 minutes long, according to the scenario list before you go in. We'll see how that holds up. So far, so good. Though, admittedly, I'm going a little bit slower than I might need to be. I could probably be going faster, but I don't want to risk speeding too much. This is not a career scenario, it is a standard scenario like most Steam Workshop ones. But I still try to avoid speeding. I'm sure I will speed plenty before this is over, but I will try and avoid it. Last thing I want to do is roll the train and have to start this whole thing over again. Thanks. This is a fairly accurate representation of the of Norfolk Southern's Pennsylvania line, though it's this particular route is set in the 1950s-ish era, so it's lots of older diesel, a couple of I think what was the one of the locomotives, like a Pennsylvania K4, I think is available for this, one of the late steam ones. And one big change that has happened to this line since it became Norfolk Southern is it's only 3 tracks now. So while this locomotive may be more appropriate to today, the line is still in the 1950s configuration. But I'm willing to overlook that. No one's actually gone through and bothered changing the route to remove that third line, and I'm kind of okay with that. No reason you can't run modern locomotives on this and just ignore the third lines there. You can have plenty of fun on this route, despite the anachronism. The drive-by camera going here. Very cool. Oh, and there's a Union Pacific locomotive heading in the opposite direction. It's auto racks. That is cool. I was not expecting to bump into a Union Pacific locomotive here. Let's check the back of the train. Get a good view of him as he goes by. There's actually a crew in that cab. Where is he? This train's apparently much longer than I thought it was. There he is. Let's see, it's Union Pacific and a Norfolk Southern. Interesting, so it's like just a helper locomotive there. Is Norfolk Southern. I guess they probably have trackage rights or something to bring auto racks from the West Coast into New York City. That signal in a caution aspect before I went through it. probably just changed after I went through, and then I didn't see it till after I was already under it. Lovely scenery. The fog is just the right level of creepy. Though I wish these signals were brighter and easier to see from a distance in the fog. Let's see what this one... Oh, that's a stop signal. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's request pass a danger. There's no way I'm going to be able to stop at this. Okay. Approved. Thank goodness. Because there was, that stop was not happening. There's a, light engine ahead of us. 2 light engines, sorry. It's interesting. I wonder if we're going to be able to overtake them. That was probably what caused the signal. They must have just gotten switched onto the, onto one of the inner lines as I approached. They don't look like they're going very fast. Okay, that's the yard we need to pull into. And none of the switches are set. Awesome. Just make sure that's the right siding. Yep. Alright, let's get these switched over. So that's... that should do the trick, I think. Good thing we checked that. Oh, and I'm speeding. Of course I am. That's what happens when you check the switches ahead of time. I guess if I'd been paying more attention, I could have done that when I stopped at that signal. But I was not paying attention. We're catching up with that light engine ahead of us. Nice steep slope, so we're probably going to need the dynamic brake on for most of this. It looks like we are going through the Horseshoe Curve as well. I'm pulling over to stop right afterwards. So this has become a high-speed train chase. High speed being 25 miles an hour. Still not something you see every day. Let's check the signal. Green, good to go. Do not want to bump into another issue with that. Ignore the Steam notifications. I forgot to turn those off. Okay. Definitely closing the gap here, even though he's got the inner track, so he's got a slightly easier time of this. Yeah, we're just entering the curve now, and it looks like there is an oncoming train as well. So this should be a very interesting photo opportunity. This of 3 trains going through the curve at the same time. It's a Norfolk Southern locomotive, so no, not a Union Pacific this time, sadly. We might be overtaking this guy on our left, right as we go in. Look at this. This is so cool. 3 at once. And I'm speeding again. Let's jump the camera out and get a better view of this. That is so cool. Dynamic brake rattling up again. Just a mixed freight on the outer track, the light engine on the inner track, and then me on the far inside track. Let's move over here to the observation area. Oh, this is thumbnail material right here. That's fantastic. This is why I love Elphaba scenarios. He manages to time. Oh, look at that timing. That was cool. He manages to get the timing really perfect on some of these. Yeah, toss me the briefcase indeed. Just running right alongside this locomotive. There's Matt Mitchell in the chat making movie references. Oh, he's pulling away from me. I cannot allow this to happen. I must overtake. I must be the primary. I must be the faster train. Still green signal. not too much more to go before we get to the yard. Speed limit's 35 after that signal. Let's go ahead and throttle up just a tiny bit and try and overtake this guy on my left. Speeding. What? Oh, right! Half my train is still in the curve. Whoops. Alright, I'm just going to keep that under control, and hopefully I won't derail before I pass the rest of the train into the 35-mile-an-hour section. And we're good. Alright. And I am overtaking the light engine on my left. I am the better train. Goodbye. This is more fun than it should be. Just like racing a light engine. Every scenario should just have a light engine on the next track over that you're racing against to the end. Like you can see him out the left-hand seat. Another signal branch coming up. And green. Excellent. Signal branch. Signal... What's that? Signal bridge. That's the word I'm looking for. Signal branch. What am I thinking? Signal bridge. Dynamics working once again. Is that guy still behind me? Oh, I can't see him anymore. Through another one of these lovely super elevated curves. Back. Did try and pull the visor down, but nothing happens. Not that I need it on a foggy day like this, but I do like checking to see if it works. And it does not in this locomotive, sadly. But that's okay. That is okay. Yeah, I'm not even going to try the windows. Leaning into another curve as we go around here. Approaching the end of the scenario, not too much more to go. Maybe we can see that other locomotive now that we're on it. No? Thought we'd be able to see him now that we're on a left-hand turn. Oh well. He's probably still back there somewhere. Can't imagine we've completely outpaced him already. Did have to slow down a tiny bit, anyway. Little scenario. Another signal green once more. Haha! I have done this already. I have already set my switches. I did not need the heads up, though I do appreciate that. That is a nice touch. In a scenario where the switches are not set going into a yard, I appreciate that they let you know ahead of time. That would be an annoying way to lose. Oh, I am not properly set for this. They are putting me into the siding earlier than I thought. Alright, so I thought it was going to, I was planning for the second switch off, but I guess I'm using the first one. So that should do the trick. Now, got those set right. Oh, there's another, I missed a train passing me in the opposite direction. And there's the light engine as well. That was a Canadian Northern locomotive. That's cool. I've seen all kinds of different paint schemes today. Canadian National, Canadian Northern. That was a CN locomotive. Probably Canadian National. I assume it's a nationalized line. It's a Norfolk Southern helper. Lovely. And the little light engine still keeping up almost. Some timings on this scenario are wonderful. I love that Elphaba used all the different paint schemes in available for this locomotive in this scenario. He probably did this right when this DLC came out, and I'm only just now playing it. It was kind of showing off all the different paint jobs that came in that locomotive pack. Double check all my switches. Yeah, now that we got the blue line, we are cleared into the it's a caution signal. Cleared into the yard. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my speed down a little bit here. I'm expecting a 15-mile-per-hour section coming up somewhere. I don't see it on the map, which worries me. Oh, that's a railroad crossing. I need to, almost missed that entirely. Almost entirely missed that. I was not expecting a railroad crossing there. I can't imagine how weird that would be to cross a railroad this wide. Probably put an entire tractor trailer across this and still not quite make it. Especially a track this busy. I mean, there's trains constantly on this line. Can't imagine you ever having time to get across. All the cars are still 1950s. That's great. Oops. Just ignore that. So if you need to grab a Chevy Bel Air while they're still being mass produced, that's your chance right there. Nice. Oh, I've still got another turn to go before I'm at the yard. I am not as close to the yard as I thought I was, so I can go ahead and let my speed go back up. No reason to be going this slow just yet. Oops. Thought I was closer than I was. It's okay. What is going on down there? Really important. Thought that was another railroad track at first. Just a road. Just a road. This track is not quite as bumpy as I expected it to be. We do have another oncoming locomotive. Is our light engine friend still back here somewhere? Actually managed to catch up a little bit. Very nice. Let's see what we got oncoming here. It's another Union Pacific locomotive. Oh, BNSF this time. Very nice. He really is trying to show off all the different paint schemes. Norfolk Southern helper. I like that. That's nice. Looks like an oil train. That is cool. And that's a caution signal into the yard. Alright, I'm gonna bring our speed down here. So we're about to get switched off into the yard. I'm speeding already? How am I speeding already? Oh, lovely. The speed limit dropped to 15 right as we went through the signal rather than at the switch. Because that's fair. We are under 15 now. Moving into the siding. I wonder if that light engine is going to overtake me now. Would be a nice finish to the scenarios to see that guy speeding past after I passed him on the curve. I'm gonna wind my way into the yard here. Lots of lovely little lighting effects. I don't see the light engine anywhere. Maybe he stopped back at that last signal. Another BNSF locomotive and the Norfolk Southern helper. Very cool. I love all the different paint schemes on this. This is such a lovely scenario. This worked out really well, considering I did this as a backup for another one that didn't work. I was not actually planning to play this one, but this I'm glad I did. This is a great scenario. Once again, the link will be in the description below. Because this is a great one to play if you've got this DLC. Let's see what our train looks like as a whole now. Just nothing but grain cars. Lots and lots of grain cars. At least they're different colors. That is neat. And there is a turntable here. I guess that's probably just for turning around locomotives. It doesn't really go anywhere. Because maybe those two guys already went through it. I am running out of siding here. Is this long enough for my train? Yeah, no, my rear locomotive just came off the main line. There's no way it's going to fit in the siding. Well, I mean, at least we are clear of the main line. That must be why they switched us off in the first set of the first switch. So let's go ahead and bring us to a stop here. Double check, make sure we are clear of the main line. And turn off the dynamic brake. It's already off. I don't know why the sound effect is still going. There it goes. Alright, and yeah, we are clear of the main line, but the last quarter of the train is still not in the yard. But, you know, whatever. Well done, you've successfully brought a very heavy tonnage down the mountain. That was a great scenario. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Thanks again to the few people who were watching me in the Twitch chat. I know I recorded this extremely late at night, but I felt like doing it live, so thank you again. I will see you all next time. Have a great day. Aw. Speeding 14 times, really?